الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم وصل عليه. Brothers and sisters of Iman and Islam, I hope and pray that you're all in best of health and Iman. This is Sayyid Sirajul Arifin Shah, the head teacher and Imam of MCT Layton Jamia Masjid. So I will take a few minutes of your time to give an overview of the performance of the MCT Madrasa and the few steps that we have taken in the recent past which have contributed towards the improvement of the Madrasa. So in this shorter session, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to talk about the performance of the Madrasa and the future goals as well, and the things that under my leadership were introduced to the MCT Madrasa, how I implemented the assessments and the reporting system, and how I designed the syllabus and how we adopted the innovative teaching methods. And then I will talk about the guides that I prepared for Quran teaching and the Qaida teaching and Tajweed manuals, and how I implemented some strategies in improving the attendance, and how I went about communicating, especially the communication between the parents and the teachers, and some of the future plans, like introducing the individual learning plans so that individual needs can be targeted, and also lesson plans and schemes of work, and also how we want to go about the monthly and quarterly reporting of the madrasa, and how to fulfill all of this. I started teachers training and how effective that has been. We'll talk about that inshallah ta'ala. So first and foremost, when I first started in 2020, the number of students that were registered in each class, they were, as you can see on the screen, total number of them was 77. That was COVID. There were restrictions, there were difficulties, and things were already online when I first started. And until July last year, for almost all of the year, we had things online, and wasn't the best of the scenario to give the performance. But still, alhamdulillah, in that time, we carried out assessments and the regular monitoring of the classes, and we tried to deliver the best of the education possible with our limited resources that we had to deal with the situation. Alhamdulillah, 1.5 years down the line, almost 2 years now, this is 2022, and we have 102 students registered in each class. Alhamdulillah, things are going in the right direction. In terms of the syllabus, alhamdulillah, I divided and devised a new syllabus for each class, and previously there was no set direction. We adopted, as madrasa, the management adopted the Commerce series books. However, what to teach from that and how to divide that into sections, alhamdulillah, that was done by this servant of Allah. And I also tried to focus more on the Quranic education, the reading of the Quran and the Tajweed, so that I dedicated 3 days of the week specifically for the Quran reading, and the rest of the 2 days for Islamic studies. And in terms of the Quran reading, in order to improve the learning of the students and to make it more interactive and more resources rich. So we adopted the Quran pen specifically and other YouTube videos to play for the kids so that they could learn from that and adopt the the learning styles of famous Qurra, and that way this will improve their learning. Alhamdulillah, this worked out, and so significantly this improved the reading of the learners. And alhamdulillah, as we will also tell you later, we adopted the monthly assessments of the students to check how their reading is improving. So this clearly was reflected in the monthly assessments that we have done, alhamdulillah. So that was one of the steps we took to adopt the innovative method of teachings. And also, in order to help the teachers deliver the right sets of to impart the right teaching to the kids and to the learners, I developed the Quran teaching manual, and I guided them step by step how to go about teaching the Quran, and whether that's through pen Quran reading or whether that's through reading themselves for the kids. I put in that all of the instructions, and I did the same for the Qaida teaching manual. So I prepared that manual so that they could go about teaching the Qaida to help them with the teaching. So in the near future, I also intended to create lesson plans. So based on our entire Qaida course, I intended to create lesson plans so that teachers could follow that plan only and execute it, and also impart the Qaida education to the kids. And similarly, for the Islamic studies, which is done for the remainder of the 2 days in the week, so I divided that also into trimesters, meaning that in the first trimester we would do only one module, which will be fiqh, in this, and to concentrate on that only to make sure that the kids learn that properly, and also that's tested towards the end of that trimester. And similarly, for the second trimester, I chose Aqidah, and for some classes I chose Akhlaq. So that's how I divided the things into trimesters. Inshallah, I will show a picture of that towards the end of this. Let me see if I've got that available somewhere. And similarly, I for the first in-person exams, because previously we had things online, and we started moved in back in person late July last year, in 2021. And from that moment, alhamdulillah, I started planning for exams, and I informed the teachers that this is how we'll go about doing this, and by December we should start our exams. So alhamdulillah, in December we had the exams and we executed them well, and I think they finished early January. And then eventually we had the parents' evening. The exams were done in early 2022, and then we had some parents' evening, which was also recorded. The videos are available, mashallah. So kids performed in that. That was also something that was introduced in MCT. Alhamdulillah, that kids performing publicly and showing off what they learn basically in public. So this was the plan, but then I decided after that we should have quarterly exams. However, due to lack of timing, especially because of Ramadan coming straight after that, we could not fully implement that this year, but the plan was to do so from next year, inshallah. So this year we opted for 2 exams in a year, so that will at least give us a better idea of the learning that's taken place, and the assessment will be reflective of the learning and the teaching. For that reason, this quarterly examination was replaced by the 2 assessments per year, meaning half yearly examination. And also there is work underway, alhamdulillah, already to create individual learning plans. So this will be based upon how students perform in their assessments, and based on that, and also monthly assessments that we do for the kids, which I will talk about in a few minutes, inshallah ta'ala. So based upon that, we are preparing individual learning plans. So this will basically facilitate the learning of each learner according to their ability, and also they will address all the issues that affect their learning, and any needs, specific needs that they might have. This will take into account all of that. So it's very important for progress and learning of each student according to the ability that we make these learning plans. Alhamdulillah, work is underway, and I'm working nights and days to produce this, inshallah ta'ala. And also, in order for the teachers to be able to deliver lessons properly and according to the directions, it's more appropriate to give, rather than give them verbal instructions, we give them lesson plans and schemes of work. So schemes of work will lay out the entire syllabus that we're going to cover and how we're going to go about this. And lesson plans will basically lay out each lesson's structure and how to basically fulfill that, how to carry that out. So, and this will help us, the management and the teachers, to keep the teaching as unanimous, effective, and also organized. Alhamdulillah, there's work underway to create the lesson plans. This is part of the plan of me as head teacher. I wanted to create these lesson plans and schemes of work so that this will uplift and modernize the way the teachers are teaching. So it will also hopefully significantly improve the standard of teaching and learning, and also will also make it easy for us, the management, to track the progress of the classes overall. And in order for this to be effectively executed, there has to be monitoring of the teaching as well. So alhamdulillah, for that I intend uh, to do monitoring of the teaching regularly, and this will be monitored according to lesson plans and schemes of work, and this will also make easy for the management to keep an eye on the learning activity. So these were the few actions that I intend to take, and the future plans include creating lesson plans and schemes of work, and also developing our own syllabus. So currently, as we said in the beginning, we're following comma series, but in the near future, maybe from next year, inshallah ta'ala, I intended to develop syllabus which was according to our own needs. Now, while comma series is extremely good, however, it does not cover all of the things that we intended to cover. So then this would include authoring and publishing the material and books ourselves that we find is extremely useful according to the modern day environment, inshallah ta'ala. So along with that, we will also need to develop some resources and adopt resources already developed to assist the learners in the learning of the syllabus. This can include things like basically projector screens and other things like that. Inshallah ta'ala, we will implement this in the classrooms to make the learning more accessible and more interactive and fun for the kids. However, in order to achieve that, obviously we would require financial investments as well as time. So it's time consuming, and also financially it would require some help from the donors and investors, inshallah ta'ala. But alhamdulillah, we've got a highly generous and motivated community. So inshallah, this will be achieved when inshallah ta'ala, Allah ta'ala designs and plans. So in terms of the assessment, As I said, assessment is a highly integral part of the learning, and without assessment, uh, it is impossible for us to be able to track the progress of the learning. So therefore, it's highly necessary for the progress tracking and monitoring the learning, and all for everybody involved in the learning and teaching. They should, for them to learn the outcome of this process, they need to see something, and to be for that visibility of the results, the assessments are integral part of learning. So for that reason, we chose to have assessments done uh, more often than annual. Annual is important, yet monthly and quarterly assessments are also extremely important. So, inshallah, alhamdulillah, we have already implemented that. So, monthly assessment is taking place. So, we track the students' progress in Quran reading and namaz and du'as and kalimas and things like that. So, every month we would have assessment of each class, and this would give us an idea of how students are performing and which student is lacking and how to address that. And then quarterly assessment of Islamic studies learning was devised. We were unable to implement that this year, but inshallah, moving forward, we will have this. But at least we had a half yearly assessment this year, so that still gives us a better idea, better picture of the progress than having the annual assessment. Annual assessment is very good, however, because the time is short and assessment can only cover certain aspects of syllabus. We cannot cover everything that we taught in the syllabus in one assessment. So therefore, things taught throughout the year can never be attested in the annual assessment only. So for that reason, we chose for the quarterly assessment. But at least we have done half yearly this year. Inshallah, moving forward, we will have quarterly assessments. But then annual assessment will have the mark based on all three assessments of the year, and then this will be reflective of the teaching and the learning that has taken place throughout the year, inshallah ta'ala. But assessments will only be reflective and useful if there is a successful and effective reporting of the results. So alhamdulillah, we have started monthly and quarterly reporting, and then we'll have annual reports as well, which we had last year or last 2 years, alhamdulillah. So part of the plan is to track learning. Part of the plan to track learning is to prepare reports after each assessment, alhamdulillah. So we have had two assessments so far, two annual assessments, and their reports were issued. Currently, I'm going through marking the third assessment that just happened in July, and inshallah ta'ala, their results and reports will be issued accordingly. And also now we have also implemented the monthly reports. So based upon the monthly assessments, we are going to issue the reports. We've already started that, so this will help basically effectively monitor the learning. And also, as we know that annual reporting is also substantially important for us, the teachers, the management, and the parents to see the overall progress of the learners. And we have produced this in the last 2 years. And now that we have monthly and quarterly assessments, inshallah ta'ala, this annual report will be much more thorough in tracking and reflecting the learning of each learner and will be highly useful in that. Apart from that, the attendance, as you know, is an extremely important aspect of the learning. Without being present in the class, no one can learn. So, in order to improve the attendance and in order to get the students committed to attend more regularly, we have implemented the online attendance, alhamdulillah. So this means that we can track this in real time. So previously there was paper attendance. So for paper attendance to come back to the management, this would take the whole month. And so who was present when, we couldn't be able to see. But now attendance has been done online. So literally in real time, we can see who is present and who is not. And that gives us the ability to track the attendance, and also to approach the parents of the kids who are not attending more often, to see how we can help in that and how we can get them to attend more regularly as well. So this also gives us the ability to prepare the monthly attendance reports, as you can see on the left here, that monthly attendance reports of each student, with a percentage of that, and this will also then help significantly improve the attendance, and also allows us to award and reward the ones who attend better, and also to remind the ones whose attendance is falling lower than normal to get that right, inshallah ta'ala. And this reporting and tracking again will only be useful, as I mentioned earlier, if this is communicated successfully to the parents. So parents can have access to this, and they also are given information about the tracking and reporting that's going on. This will have this will not have the required results and effects. So alhamdulillah, to achieve that, we have significantly improved the contact database. When I first came, there was already, alhamdulillah, something in place. The database was there already, and in order to what I did is that I added all the numbers which were missing, and alhamdulillah, we significantly improved the database, and eventually, alhamdulillah, now we have at least each parent's numbers on the record. And this basically allows us to track, to contact the parents as soon as we realize that a child is not present, or his performance is not up to the mark. So we can regularly be in contact with the parents. So for head teacher to be able to contact the parents and the management, it is highly important, especially in case of the absence, and we can inform the parents and inquire about that as well. Alhamdulillah, this is another milestone that we have achieved in this in the communication area. So these were the few steps that we have taken to improve the overall level of madrasa. But for the overall learning and the teaching to be delivered, the teachers also have to deliver. While they already might have very good qualifications and good ability to teach, at the same time, teachers need to be learners. So always teachers, they need to keep improving themselves for them to be able to deliver at their level best. So alhamdulillah, myself, the head teacher, being a qualified teacher trainer, and also having had a foundation and base in tajweed and qira'at, being a qari myself, alhamdulillah, from the last 22 odd years, and with an experience of Quran teaching and tajweed as well, I could take on this responsibility, alhamdulillah, to train them in both the Quran teaching as well as the modern teaching methods and delivery, and also the behavior management strategies, how to manage how to manage the classroom. This was alhamdulillah imparted to them, and but we started doing this alhamdulillah, but due to time teaching commitments, and also my other commitments as Imam of the MCT. There was never enough time for this, but alhamdulillah, at least we tried. And in the future, the plan is to deliver such training on video so that the teachers can do and utilize this in their own time and with occasional monitoring of the learning and the progress. Apart from the madrasa education, alhamdulillah, we also, on requests of the parents and the management, we started the Alim course. This is Islamic studies course where you learn about the important Islamic aspects like fiqh and Arabic grammar and the principles of fiqh, all of that. So alhamdulillah, being a qualified Dars Nizami teacher, the aim was to create the ulama for the future in Leighton, so that at least to leave a legacy of knowledge once I depart from here. So alhamdulillah, at the moment around 30 students are currently benefiting from me, and they are aiming to become scholars, alims in the near future, and hopefully they will be ready to serve the community soon as an alim deen and imams. So alhamdulillah, the credit goes to the management committee of MCT Leighton, who have provided this opportunity for the kids of the area to learn and become ulama and be servants of the religion, alhamdulillah. And because of this great interest shown by the public in this alim course, and after seeing this being highly beneficial for the ones who are attending the alim course, the intention is now to embed some of the important elements of this in the regular madrasa curriculum, especially for the level 3 students, because it's only most useful for them at that age level. So this will then be beneficial for them. So while they're learning their normal Quran studies, they will also be able to pick up on the important elements of Alim course as well. So that will ensure that while we teach them the Quran, we can also develop an interest in them to learn the detailed knowledge of Islam, Islamic sciences, and Dars Nizami, and then they can possibly go on to become an Alim Deen as well. So additionally, the one aim of doing so is to tackle and to counter the negative effects of the non-religious environment that the kids have when they go out and about in the society, especially in the educational settings of the modern education, whether in schools or colleges. That negativity needs to be countered. Alhamdulillah, the madrasa at MCT is aiming to do so with the help of the management committee and the teachers, and as well as the community. May Allah give us the ability to do just that, inshallah ta'ala, and provide a platform for the youngsters, for the kids especially, to become an asset for the future, for the whole community, and for at least for the parents and for the family, be of benefit to them, and become self-reliant, at least in terms of Islamic education, so they can themselves pass it on to their next generation. I thank you for your time, for going through all of this short overview of the performance of the MCT Madrasa, and I wish the best for everyone who watched this so far. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.